Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Boost Tech here, and first I'd like to apologise for the loud buzzing in the background. That is just my PC doing some rendering, so I have to ignore that. But today I thought I'd talk about something that's been on a lot of YouTubers' minds. It's been around on the internet, on Google, Yahoo Answers, you name it. It's been around for the last 2 years now. And what this is the educational iMac. So a lot of you must have heard about the new 2012 late series iMac that was released at the end of 2012. There's two models, of course, the 21-inch and there's the 27-inch. And basically with the 21.5-inch you get similar specs to the 27-inch, but what you can't do is upgrade the RAM. So if you really want to upgrade the RAM, you better go for the either 27-inch iMac, or you go for like something like the MacBook Pro. But something that they actually introduced not too long ago, and I say about 2 years ago, it was introduced to schools, colleges, and some small businesses. And what this was the educational iMac. And I've got the spec sheet here, and I'm just going to read some of the specifications out to you. So what it first is, we normally expect the iMac to have an i7 processor, i7, Core i7, or a Core i5 processor. Most models, but this one has an i3 processor, Intel i3 processor, which is, it's not really what you'd expect from an iMac, being mainly built for design, graphical design and editing. But all it's got is an i3 processor. Mainly you'd find that on like the Mac Minis and some smaller or lower grade PCs, just for general use such as internet browsing, YouTube and email and things like that. And so you wouldn't really expect that for an iMac, so they have really watered down the features here. And for the gigahertz, it's 3.3, which isn't too bad. I mean, the 27-inch iMac, it's originally 3.4, but it can be boosted up to 3.7 or overclocked to 3.7, so that's not too bad actually. And for the 21-inch iMac, it's 3.4 gigahertz. You're only losing what, 100 megahertz, so it's not too bad. It has a, I don't believe that this is an SSD. I think this is just a general hard drive. It's 250 gigabyte hard drive, which isn't too bad. I mean, that's not too bad. I mean, they're starting to make them almost standard at 500 gigabytes, but 250, not too bad. And obviously you can always add, external hard drives. But this is probably the one that's going to really, put the icing on the cake here. It has a 256 megabyte onboard memory. Now, 256 megabytes is not really adequate, I'd like to say. Where we're at this common stage now, we're in 2013, so it would be better, or at least 2 years ago, I'd at least say 512 to 1 gigabyte graphics card would be suitable. And they said here it's an onboard Intel, so it's not an Nvidia and it's not an ATI. So that is pretty surprising. But yet, these standalone PCs, because you can't connect into a network, especially if you're in school, because most schools generally have Windows computers, or most businesses then you have Windows computers, and they're not really always feasible or compatible with the actual security software that those businesses use. So what they have to end up doing is using something called a standalone computer. It's not connected on a network whatsoever, it's just the standalone PC. But yet these PCs are still they're still able to handle things like Photoshop. We've got some at our sixth form, and they handle really well. And you'll also notice that they're for educational use, because there is no FireWire port at the back, and there's no SD card at the back. They're basically just your standard unit, and everything's been watered down completely to give it the overall price tag. Because this is pretty cheap. It's $999 in the US, but I'll say here it's about £700, which isn't too bad. So it's pretty cheap, and it's almost coming down to almost the Mac Mini kind of price, which pretty cheap. That's the cheapest Mac you can possibly get, and you get a good display, so you can't really argue too much. So it's not that bad if you think about it. But these computers are still able to handle video editing, because we've got some in our videography and photography studios, and they use them in the music tech rooms, and these are very capable of doing very good and strong. They can definitely handle Adobe Premiere. I'm not sure about the RAM. I'm guessing it's about 2 gigabytes worth of RAM. Which is pretty low for these high-end programs that they're using, like Adobe After Effects and some of the, for the videography studio they use Sony Vegas, which is pretty RAM heavy, if you know what I mean. But it's surprising that these PCs are actually able to handle this, and I think that in an educational environment where you can get things to a minimum, since they have to bring in so many PCs, and that's a very good idea. So basically, I'd just like to hear what you have to think about this particular thing that Apple's doing, producing these educational iMacs. So I'd just like to hear what you have to think about that. So please feel free to leave a comment there in the section down below. And yeah, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this video. This has been Boost Tech here. Thank you for watching. And yeah, comment, subscribe, whichever you want to do. and yeah, thank you for watching. And bye for now.
Yeah, and that's it. We having good times out here. Living it up, you know. I'm out.